Let me ask you, have you noticed how children, even teenagers, freeze in the face of challenge these days? They don't know what to do. They are lost. So because they don't know what to do, they freeze. They make choices that don't empower them, choices that are even against their values. When it comes to things, generally, you expect them to be able to think through. They are not able to think through. Why? Because they don't have the ability to problem solve. So today is all about how to raise children who problem solve. I say children who problem solve, who know how to solve, who know how to problem solve, who know how to solve problems. They will grow up to become children who adults who actually don't break down when life throws them lemon. They can make lemonades out of it, because we keep saying things like, oh, when life gives you lemon, make lemonade. The truth of the matter is, if they don't know how to convert lemons to lemonades, they are going to crush. So it's not just about saying some fancy things. It's actually empowering your children with the skills, because life will always throw lemons. But if they don't know how to make lemonades out of it, they don't know how to problem solve. We see it happen to people all the time. When things happen to them, they are breaking. One of the reasons why people break when things happen to them is because they do not know how to convert it. People say, oh, convert your pain into profit. When people do not have the capacity to convert pains into profit, they don't know how to convert pains into profit, how will they do it? And guess what? Life is moving at a speed that our children definitely need all these basic skills. If they don't know how to, they are not going to be able to. Now, this is why today is all about raising children who can problem solve. That is what we are doing today, and it is brought to you by the Visionary Parent Academy. Today, you are going to be learning the mindset behind problem solving, how to nurture problem solving your children, how you unknowingly discouraging your child from problem solving, knowing how to problem solve. You're also going to learn practical strategies to raise children who can problem solve. So let's go. My name is Enimien Oruebor, and I'm a parent coach, I'm a parent mentor, and I'm the lead coach at the Visionary Parent Academy. The Visionary Parent Academy is an annual academy, a year-long academy, where parents come together to empower their children. They come to learn skills. They come to get the knowledge, everything they need to nurture the children they have, to raise the children they have, to build skills, 21st century skills in their children. When you join the academy, you start by creating your vision. You know where you are going to, and you begin to work towards it. For example, you join the academy with the mind of raising problem solvers. So you come and you are taught, you are equipped on how to raise problem solvers. It's a very vibrant and interesting academy. We begin every morning with a voice note. Then we end by meetings like, let me call it town hall meetings in the evenings, a vibrant and transformational meetings we have in the evenings, where you get to talk about your days. You are sharing your experiences, you are sharing your wins, your struggles, your questions, and you are actually getting answers that meet your personal questions, not a general answer you pick on social media and you apply. No, you meet answers that actually fit your parenting. We are start next year 2026. We are going to run another 1 year long program, and if you're not in the academy, I want to encourage you to join it, because it is very transformational. You begin with voice notes in the mornings, and then you end the day with a meeting where we come, and even if you are not available, you can come back and catch up. And guess what? It is a very, very empowering. It's not just saying it. If you're in the academy, you will know that empowering. We have a lot of activities we do. We do something we call the family talk time every weekend. It is really empowering, where your child gets to learn practically. You are mentoring them, you are teaching them, you are bonding, you are understanding them, and you carry your spouse along, because hey, if you have your spouse within in your space, everybody in your space, you need to speak the same language. So the Visionary Parent Academy is definitely a place you want to be. You will learn more as we go further. So for today is all about how to raise problem solvers, children who just don't sit down and complain, children who just don't wait for you to hand things over to them, children who can actually solve problems, who can navigate situations, who spot problems and able to solve problems. I say this to my children all of the time, and children even in my teen mentorship programs, I tell them that, see, when we talk about problem solving, we are talking about making impact. You don't make impact when you are not solving a problem. When someone has a question, you answer the question. That is how you are making impact. When someone has a struggle, you are able to proffer solutions to the person's struggles. That is how you are making impact. I tell them you were created to add value. You are not just going to be another random human being. You are not just going to be a number, just a counted number. Rather, you are meant to add value. How do you add value? You add value by meeting people's needs. How do you meet people's needs? You meet people's needs by solving their problems. You answer their questions. You give solutions to their problems. That is how you are adding value, and you are meeting people's needs. So I tell my children, I tell people around me, even my teenagers and all of that, when you have a friend or you are living anywhere you are living, you should always strive to make sure you add value. And by that, you are answering questions, you are meeting their needs. That is how you add value. And that's one of the things within the Visionary Parent Academy. We meet parenting needs, yes, because we realize that parenting this time is tough. Parenting this time needs skills. Parenting this time needs what is it called? Wisdom. Parenting this time needs knowledge. So in the Visionary Parent Academy, we provide skills, we provide knowledge, we provide wisdom, we provide confidence. We give you every single thing you need to parent the child you have. Raise that child. That parenting is one of the major assignments you have. Yes, that's one of the biggest assignments you have as a human being. So what we do in the Visionary Parent Academy, we actually answer your questions, proffer solutions to your struggles. We help you, empower you with the ability, the capacity to actually carry out that your assignment confidently and effectively. So you want to join us as we progress. We are going to talk more about the Visionary Parent Academy, especially 2026 cohort. So today is all about how to raise problem solvers. Children who are able to solve problems, children who add value where they go, children who are able to make lemons out of lemonade. We say it every day. When life throws lemon, make lemonade. But it requires skills to be able to make lemonade. Don't you think so? You will not just wake up one morning and have the capacity. See, as individuals, as an adult, you will see things happen to people. People go through things, series of events. At the end of the day, everybody is able to take it differently. We said this in every time. It's not about what happens to you. It's actually what you are able to do with what happens to you. That is what we say. But for our children to be able to do things with what happens to them, they need skills. Problem solving skills. There's something they say, problem not they feed the show. We say that. But what do they do with the problem that happens to them? Problem solving skills is what we are teaching our children today. And there's something I always say, people don't just wake up because they are adults, they suddenly have the capacity. No. The truth of the matter is, when we start building capacity in our children from when they are small. By the time they are adults, they are fully grown, they will not have the capacity. They will have, it's like, there's a drum somewhere, an empty drum somewhere, and you keep throwing into it. When your child is grown, that drum is full. When they face with that situation, they just go into it and take from it or fetch from it, as the case may be. That is exactly what happens. So if you want your child to be able to solve problems, when they become adults, you have to start building the capacity now, like filling it that bank, filling it that drum, so that when life happens, they need to be able to not go there and pull from it. I teach teenagers in my church, and very many times I've asked to ask them. They say things like, "Oh, my mom didn't, my dad didn't, and even my teachers didn't." I ask them, "Are you kidding me? What happens to you being able to navigate, solve problems? At least try. You are not able. Someone will know that you have tried. Not you just being relaxed and waiting. Oh, my mom did not. Oh, my teacher did not. Oh, my dad did not." It shows that those children, those teenagers have not learned how to solve problems. So rather, what have they learned? They've learned to depend on others for solutions. Now, what if others fail? One of the things I always say to my teenagers is that when you depend on others for solutions, you are going to end up, how do I put it, living their life, serving their purpose. Because human beings, we are naturally selfish. So we want to do things that favor us. So even if others want to give you solution, they are going to give you solution that in any way favors them. I mean, which simply means that they are going to give you solution that may not 100% serve you, or that may serve you at the same time serve them. So we need to raise children who are able to think outside the box, who are able to problem solve. I have a teenager in my church. I said to one day that I hope your dad has connections to get in civil service, because you are not thinking outside the box. You are just within the box. Oh, my teacher said, I'm taking this course. The coach said, I said, what about you? Using your brain, you've been able to think, you've been able to experiment, you've been able to just, experiment, put things together, jiggle things and see how it comes out. It doesn't always have to be they said. Doesn't mean if you are stuck in a place, you can't think for yourself. We really need to raise children who can think. Problem solving is an economic skill. What do I mean? We all want to raise children who will succeed financially. Now, problem solving is a skill that will help our children survive financially. I have two should I say neighbors? They're not necessarily neighbors. I live in the close. So when you come out of the close, we have them there. They have two shops there. They sell the same things. So when we pass there, something I tell my children, you see these two shops, two of them are actually sell the same things, really. But you realize that two of them, they actually have two different problems they are solving. One is solving the problem of affordability, because her prices are less. The other one actually solving the problems of availability, because she is always available. You go there 7 a.m., you see that she has opened her shop already. She's selling. So if you want anything you want to buy, she has them. She has almost everything you want. The other one, you can go there, she doesn't have something. But if you want something that is cheaper, you get it from her. So both of them actually, this woman, she sells a lot, but her prices are expensive. So she decided to come there and open her own, actually solve the problem of prices lower. What I'm trying to say is, when our children can spot problems, they can provide solutions to this problem. It is an economic skill. Look at things around. Everything, every single thing around, every single thing you pay money for, someone is solving your problem. It can even be, I was telling my children in church, for example, we have a lot of people now wearing clothes that are not decent, not covering up. You can want to now solve that problem. What about Christian girls? They should wear things that are decent. You want to solve that problem, create fashion line that is 100% decency. That is you solving the problem. Look around you. Bottled water. I heard that the first sachet water that was ever produced was in Benin City. Someone thought about it. Bottled water is quite expensive, so let's make something that is handy. And it came out with sachet water. From him, many people started having all the ideas. Everywhere you go today now is sachet water everywhere. The problem of that water, getting it. So our children need to be able to solve problem solving. I'm even talking about the future. What about today? What about they are caught in situations? They need to be able to wear their thinking cap and solve problems. What even in the issue of bullying at schools, sometimes they need to be able to wear their thinking cap and solve the problem and able to solve that problem of bullying. Now, when we're talking about problem solving, it's not just about the future, it's about today. A parent in the Visionary Parent Academy shared one time, she was working late, she was working late and her kids were home. She was panicking because she had not started allowing them to cook. So I think her daughter was 8 years or so. She was like, oh, all that you are working late, you are panicking. How do you care for these children? What are they going to eat? Lo and behold, she got back home. The kids cooked a pot of jollof rice for her. That was her biggest win that year. And of course, it is a very big win. The children were able to sit down and think, oh mine, mom is running late. When she comes back, she's going to be hungry. They had to think of what to do. And that was how one of them summoned courage, went to the kitchen. She was 8 years old, rustled up something, and she was able to prepare a pot of jollof rice. It doesn't matter if it was super delicious. It doesn't matter if she got all the ingredients right or not. But what mattered was that she was able to solve that problem. For her siblings, her younger siblings, and even her mom, that is problem solving. See, let me tell you something as a parent. When you raise a child who can solve problems when you are allowed, when your children are able to solve problems, I tell you, a lot of your parenting struggles, they will be minimized, because it takes thinking, wearing your thinking cap to be able to solve problems. It takes your child developing to a certain level of executive functioning, to be able to solve problems. So when you are able to raise children who can solve problems, I tell you, a lot of your parenting struggles, they will be under check. So let's go. Okay, I have something blocking my screen now. How do I remove this thing? I want to start by, first of all, talking about, we all know, I know that, parents, we want to raise children who can solve problems. As I'm talking about it now, I'm sure you listen to me, you are agreeing with me. Yes, it's important to raise children who can solve problems. It's important. But a lot of parents already know this. However, raising these children, actually doing the things, because it is not one thing. Like I said about raising confident children, when we want to talk about raising confident children, we just write a list of affirmation for our children. I am bold, I am brave, this. I always say that is not what it takes to raise confident children. A list of affirmation. No, it is actually, confidence is by trying, by doing. Your child becomes confident because they are doing. The same thing happens for problem solving. Your child builds confidence in problem solving when you allow them. So very many parents agree that we should raise children who can solve problems, but very many parents are not actually raising children who can solve problems. What comes in the way? What stops you as a parent from raising children who can solve problems? One, overprotective parenting. Yay! You are always on the way, jumping in to help. How will your children know how to solve problems if they are not actually putting their hands on it and solving problems? Let's think about it. Skills. When we talk about skills that will help our children thrive, they are not built by saying it. They are built by practicals. They are learning. They have their hands on it. That is how they learn, by putting their hands on it. When they learn, they realize, okay, I didn't get it right. They try again. I still didn't get it right. They keep trying. Now, this is how your child learns to problem solve. Funny enough, very many parents, we are overparenting, overprotecting. You don't allow our children. Either you feel, they are too young, they cannot do it. Just a lot of factors come in the way. You don't allow them. You are constantly protecting your child. I get it. The parents once told me, no, I won't allow my child to. No, I don't. I know the drama. Some parents will say, I know what it took me to have this child. I'm not going to just allow my child. And I ask them, because it took you something to have your child, what does it stop you? That should even be a motivation for you to want to raise a child. Like this child, that you stress me having you. For a long time I didn't have a child, so now that I have a child, you are going to stand out, you are going to be seen, you are going to be heard. I'm going to get every skill I can, every knowledge I can to make sure you turn out well. That should even be a motivation. But instead, for very many parents, because it took them, it wasn't fun, it wasn't easy for them to have a child, what they do now is they wrap their children around bubble, they overprotect. At the end of the day, you know why we say single children, or is this an only child? Very many times, if you look at an only child, they are spots. Statistics has it. People say it, oh, it's you behave like an only child. I've heard people say that several times. Even me, I said to a girl in my church, like, you act like an only child. And she said to me, yes, I'm an only child. No, of my mom. Of course, the father and the mom, they were separated. The father went to another woman, and so the woman, she's an only child. So it's like an only I have been doted upon and everything, you know. So because you have an only child, you now end up really, so children end up becoming spots because they are only children. You know how that happens? Overprotection. You don't want any harm to happen to your children. What you don't realize, that you don't want harm to happen to them today, the harm that you don't want to happen to them today will happen to them in double fold, because you are with them. They can still listen to you. You can guide them. When they make mistakes, they will learn from it. Not there. Or when the bonga fish is dried up, you can no longer bend it. It becomes tough, difficult for you to even guide and supervise them. Why don't you do it now when you can still do it? You allow them so that they can learn from their mistakes instead of overprotecting, overshielding them. It is one reason why we don't raise problem solvers. As parents, we are constantly overshielding and overprotecting our children. You do everything for them. You see parents even go out to fight for their children. You don't fight. When I mean fight others who try to correct them. You don't even let them face the consequences of their actions. You don't give them responsibilities at home, or you feel, oh, they cannot. What a parent had told me before, all the clothes washing I did when I was growing up, what did I gain from it? Another parent has said, all the time, all the bus I entered while growing up, what did I gain from it? So because you use public vehicle while growing up, you feel, okay, your child shouldn't use public vehicle now. You feel, because you did laundry with your hands while growing up, your child shouldn't do laundry now. What did you gain from it? A lot of things, they will say, all the suffer I suffered while growing up. What we don't realize is that all those things we did actually built us. They built us. You need to go and watch the two previous, if you missed last week's class, please go and watch it. If you missed 2 weeks ago's class, please go and watch it. They built us reasonably, and today we are shielding our children from them, all in the name of love. Love is not indulging your child. Love is not overprotecting your child. Love is not you. Instead of allowing your child learn, you are not allowing them learn. That is not love. That is permissive parenting. Love is not permissiveness. It's not permissiveness, So let's go. One is overprotection. Second one is fear of failure. When your child makes mistake, I think there's something we say a lot. People say generally, mistakes are meant to build you. You learn from your mistakes. And we even use Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison made a mistake 1,000 times, and only the 1,000 times he got it. Yet as parents, because we do not want our children to make mistakes, we don't allow them to try. Now, even when they make these mistakes, we overreact. We are overly dramatic. Now, when you are overly dramatic, when your child makes a mistake, what is going to happen? They will not have the courage to try again. They will not have the courage to try again. They will not have the confidence to try again, because the first time they tried, they failed. Now, even when they do not realize they failed, you have told them, you have rubbed it in their face that they failed, because their mistake, Okay, so I was saying that mistakes are supposed to be teachable moments for an intentional parent. For every intentional. Okay, I was saying that when your child makes a mistake, it's supposed to be an opportunity for you to teach them and not necessarily demoralize them. Another reason why parents can nurture problem solving in their children is also, again, because they are not patient. You are not patient enough to ask questions. You are not patient enough to take mistakes as an opportunity to teach. You are not patient enough to engage in deliberate you are not patient enough to allow them fix things themselves. Because like I was saying, when a child learns, they learn problem solving by practically solving the problem. So parents are not patient enough. You are not patient enough to allow them solve the problem. You want to come in the way and solve it for them. Let me give a practical example. Like on Sunday in my church, in teenagers department, we saw the teenagers, we have skills acquisition. Every Sunday we teach them one thing. Just something easy for them. So last week we taught them to make ogbono soup, and they made ogbono soup in a way that I didn't even know that ogbono soup was made in that way, just simple way though. So my kids decided to try it yesterday, and even while we're in church on Sunday, while the teenagers were making this soup, I saw the adults around. They were already coming to tell them, and don't do this, so it's not yet time. I had to tell the chief teenager that was cooking the soup, I had to tell her, I said, Mary, do it your way. Your way, 100% your way. Anybody tell you what to do, smile, thank you. Do it. So, like I was saying, it came out tasting very good. I'm sure all the adults, they ate and they licked their fingers. It came out one of the tastiest of ogbono soup I've tasted in a long while, even my entire life, you know. So that is it. We are not patient. We just want to jump in, help them. We think, oh, they cannot, or somehow we want to take glory, you know. Impatience is one of the reasons why we can't raise problem solver. And another major ones we can raise problem solver with struggle is because we are not modeling problem solving to these children. There is no model, there's no body for them to learn to. What do? We don't model problem solving to them. You know, when there's a problem, we are not calm. When there's a problem, we are not thinking. We are always nagging. When your child makes a mistake, for example, there's a problem. You are going to, one of the ways to model it to them is to sit calmly. They have made a mistake. You sit calmly through that mistake and you solve it together. That is you modeling problem solving. But we don't do that. What do? We're either complaining, we're either blaming, we're either becoming the victim. You are always complaining. You complain, you know, about what is wrong with the situation. You are complaining. When you are complaining, you are not modeling problem solving. Or you are blaming, it's everybody else's fault, not you. You are not modeling problem solver. Or you are the victim. Or it's because you are helpless. You can't do anything about it. You are not modeling problem solving. Let me give you an example. Maybe your road, very many roads are bad in Nigeria. Very many streets are bad in Nigeria. Maybe the street is bad or the place, your house is bad. And every time you are complaining, this road is bad, this road is bad, this road is bad. You are not modeling problem solving. Or the road is bad. Oh, it's the neighbor. These people keep doing this. Because these people are doing this, you are complaining. You blame all of them. Their road, their truck. You are not modeling problem solving. Oh, government doesn't want to help. Government is this one. If I had a truck, I wouldn't be complaining about this road. It's because of this. You are not modeling problem solving. You model problem solving when you come, okay, this road is bad, what can we do? You know, no one says you are not going to feel the problem, you know. You are not going to feel the pain of the problem. No, that's not it. That's not what it means by you are complaining. Of course, you're going to feel it. It's just like you're in a house, you know, you rely on PHCN, and then the power is interrupted. What do? You start complaining, cursing NEPA, blaming NEPA. To just simply go, oh, light is gone. You acknowledge it. There's a situation. So what do you do after that? Problem solve. Find a way out of it. So many times, children don't see anyone. They don't see anyone that is modeling problem solving to them. What we do is complain, blame, or feel helpless. We are the victim. We are helpless. Now, there's something I always say. It is not always about nurturing skills in our children. It's not always about one single thing you do. No. It's a lifestyle. It's a habit. It's daily choices. The things you do every day, they go a long way to shape your child's mindset, to help them build capacity, to validate what a seed that has been planted or that is going to be planted, what you do every single day. So if you want to raise a problem solver, you must create an atmosphere that actually deliberately nurtures problem solving and create the capacity to solve problems. So let's go. How do we now build problem solving? How do you build problem solving skills in your children? The first thing you want to do is you want to encourage independent thinking. Your children have a brain. If you were not there, they would be able to think. I tell you, it's because you have boxed them so much, you don't allow them think, oh, we are quick to do this. Sometimes we don't think, we don't realize. I remember I went to a friend's house and the son we're cooking in the kitchen. I was with her in the kitchen and the son was going to throw something. She had a trash bin under the sink and the son was going to dispose a refuse in the trash bin. The son got to the door and was going to throw it and she said, no, don't throw it, come and dump it here. And I asked her, why did you have to tell him not to throw it, to come and dump it there? It's not an emergency. It's not a big deal. Let him throw it. By the time he throws it, he falls, it doesn't fall inside the bin, it drops on the floor. Then he would have learned on his own not to throw it from there. So you don't have to. We do that a lot of the time. We are always telling our children what to do, how to do it. We don't allow them think. A child is going to the kitchen, they want to dish food. You're telling them, use the other plate. Why? They are going to school. You're telling them, pass this road. Why? They want to buy something. You're telling them, buy this one. Don't buy this one. Why? I'm not saying that there are no times you actually come in the way to tell them what to do, because children are children. They are driven by emotions. But before you even tell them what to do, you have to have a good reason, a strong why. There has to be a reason that is genuine, a reason that adds value to them, a reason that can be linked to your vision, a reason that is, I don't get it, a reason that is kind of reasonable enough for you to explain in such a manner that it makes sense to the person you are raising, not just some kind of random reasons. That is what we do. We are just random. We are always jumping in the way. We don't have, let me use the word intelligent reason. An intelligent reason. Let me give you an example. Your child is cooking in the kitchen and maybe they are slicing their onions. You are coming the way. You come in, don't slice it like this, slice it like this. Why? Or don't use this knife, use this knife. Why? Okay, maybe if a particular knife is shaped in a way, you can say, okay, use this knife and slice the onions like this. And the reason you are slicing the onions like this is because it gives it a kind of a more aesthetic effect. Your food is finer, your food is more presentable, that makes sense. You are teaching your child not just to cook, to know how to serve, to know how to plate, to know how to be presentable. Maybe you are teaching them branding, to know how to stand out, to know how to just go the extra, just do the extra, just have a touch of difference that makes you kind of extra. You are teaching them that it makes absolute sense because of the kind of person you are trying to raise. You want them to learn how to, they call it serere, in the local parlance we say serere. You want them to be able to do the serere. It's understandable. But when you don't have a valid reason, you say, don't use this knife, use this knife. Why? Don't slice your onions like this, slice it like this. Why? At the end of the day, it melts inside the food. You can almost don't see the shape. So why? We don't allow them to think. That is it. We don't allow them to think independently. We always want to think for them. So when you are always thinking for your child, you are not giving them an opportunity to problem solve. So here is what you want to do. Whenever your child is faced with a situation, even when they come and meet you, allow them to think. Ask them, what do you think we can do? There's a situation right now. What do you think we can do? What are the other ways we can handle this situation? How would you want to fix it your way? You don't always come, even when they come and meet you, ask them, what can we do about this? What do you think we can do? What other ways can we handle it? Okay, how would you handle it? If you, like I tell my children, if you were, maybe I say, okay, go and get my car keys, and they go and they come back and say, how children can be. Sometimes, very many times as they are growing up, everybody, not just children, everybody likes to just relax, something easy. So you can say, go and get something for me. They go and come back, they did not find it. Nah, we are not going to settle for that. It simply means you may not have put you may not have put in the right effort. Sometimes you put in effort, but you did not just put in the right effort. You did not just put in the strategic effort. And for you to put strategic effort, you need to learn how to problem solve. So I'll ask them a question like this. Okay, if you were my car key, where would you be? If you were my car key right now, where would you be? We begin to think about it. Okay, if you're my car key, actually went out today. I have a place you usually are, So if you are not in that place and you were my car key, where would you be? So let's look at it. We went out today. We came back, we parked the car. So one, maybe we forgot to remove the key from the car. That's the place you could probably be. Okay, if you are not there, so we got back today and we passed through the back door. So maybe it fell on the way. We checked the back door. So the first spot is the dining table. I put all my bags in the dining table. The bag I went out with, my phone or any other thing on the dining table. So if I were the car key, maybe I'll be amongst the other things that came along that I got home with on the dining table. It is not there. So after the dining table, I went to the kitchen, or I went to the refrigerator to drink water. So if I was my car key, maybe, help them think. It's funny, but the truth of the matter is you are helping them think, how to think. So when situations happen, like investigative thinking. When situation happens, they're able to say, okay, let's do this, let's do that, this is it, this is that. You help them to think and not always jump in the way. Because everyone likes it easy. Children likes it super easy. They don't want to stress out. They just want to relax and have it all. Especially because this time, it's a time where they were born into ease. So it is super understandable that they absolutely love and enjoy their ease. But hey, it is going to come in the way of their critical thinking, problem-solving skills. So you allow them to think. Another thing is, second thing, if you want to raise a problem solver, is you want to allow them to struggle, safe struggles. Allow them to struggle safely. Don't always come in the way. Allow them to struggle. If they are not going to be broken, let them just try. Let them do. When you realize that they genuinely need help, you come in the way to help them. It is called age appropriate for a reason. It is called age appropriate because they can. They can. Unfortunately, we do not realize they can. One of my husband's cousins, each time we are talking and we are talking parenting, he tells me, oh, he grew up in the village, things that used to happen, how they used to do things when they grew up in the village. I'm always like, now, if children, if they could do those things, those times, what happened now? Why do we now feel they cannot do it? Why do we feel, oh, times have changed, they cannot do it? I remember when I was trying to get an accommodation for my niece and went to a particular apartment. It was so okay. It was a very massive a very massive building. The landlord was living there. The landlady was living there. They even had a business they were running. I was telling myself, if I knew then what I know now, if I'm living in this kind of apartment, of course I'll come and join them. Cooking, catering. So the woman has chains of restaurants all over town. So they cook in that particular place. The place is just built in a very, very beautiful way. The place she built is not even, doesn't affect the student at all. Maybe when she's making food with intense aroma, maybe that's the only way they'll know that, oh, somebody cooks there. I was saying, if I knew then what I know now, I would just probably like, oh, she's doing this, and I will go meet her. I'll be helping her. From there I will learn. I can even just decide to have a small business. Maybe she cooks major meals. I can just have a pastries or something like that. Just put there, around her there. That maybe when you buy something, you don't have change. You just use your change to pick something like that. I could just do all of that. So the only problem the house had was that the rooms, they did not have toilets. The rooms there, I think you have like 5 rooms who share 2 toilets. And that was all the parents know. So I was, one time, and the parents and I were talking, I was not like, okay, this house, apart from the toilet issue, this house is super safe because there's a police station right near the house, and it has a big gate, there's a security. So it's a kind of house that people will not just come in and go out randomly. The security man will know everyone that lives in the compound. So if you are coming to the compound, you are not, let me see what a citizen, you are not a resident there. They will know, who are you looking for? What are you looking for? So it is, to me, it's going to be a safe place. And parents are like, no, toilets away. I said, when I was in school, we actually had shared toilets. I'm sure we're up to 10 tenants that we use one toilet and one bathroom. And the parents are telling me, no, that time has passed, so it's no longer this time. I'm like, what is the difference between that time and this time? I don't get it. So she said, what if they will have to, there are times they will have to hurry up to school, where they'll be late going to school. And I was telling her that this is why, if they are late going to school, if we could manage our time back then with about 10 people using one toilet, we could manage our time. They can manage their time right now. 5 of them using 2 toilets, they can very well manage their time. Even though some of the rooms they will have to share, maybe 2 to 1, they can manage their time. So if you have a class 5 o'clock, a 6 o'clock rather, that means you have to wake up 5 a.m. to get ready. Or you even have to bake the previous night. Opportunity for them to learn is a problem. We have one toilet. Let's think, how do I make sure I'm not late for school? How do I make sure? So I'm always wondering, if we could do it back then, why do we think these children cannot do it? I was listening to Ngozi, what's her second name now? Ngozi Iweala. And she said she started cooking when she was 8 years old. That was in days of firewood. When you have firewood, you have charcoal pot, everything, your fingers will be stained and all of that. She wants firewood. You know how firewood can be. Started cooking when she was 8. So maybe not major meals, but then said she would go to the farm to fetch firewood when she was 8 years old, because she grew up with her grandma. Her parents they went abroad to study, her mom and her dad. So she was left with her grandma as the first child. The first child, she was with her grandma. Old people, she had to learn. I also remember my grandma used to say one thing back then growing up. She would say, we are not selling, it's not for sale. However it comes out, we are going to eat it. So she would tell me to go and cook. And I think I was really very tender. I don't remember how old I was. And then she would not say that we are not selling. These things you are cooking are not for sale. So however they come out, we are going to eat them. But these days, we don't allow children safe struggles, age-appropriate struggles. We want to do everything for them. We think it's love. I mean, I don't know. How is it love? Love is when you are thinking about a whole child. The big picture is not about what your child is now, that your child within a space of 0 to 17 years. It is the long picture. 17, because at 17, 16, your child is out of the house. They're at the university. And most times they will not be with you because they will be in campus, especially when they are schooling away. One of my sister-in-laws that I remember, just like yesterday, our kids were with, because she had a reason to move in with us for a while, and her kids were with us. Now she was telling me, I was asking her, the daughter is in UI, the other son is in Unilag. Just like yesterday here, just like yesterday, those children, they are now away from home, away from her. It's called, they will call her to share issues with her. So that is what love is, the big picture. Empowering your child with the capacity to be able to navigate life, not just survive, to be able to thrive. We are not raising children who can just survive, who just navigate life, who just pass through life. We want to raise children who can actually thrive. Wherever they are, they can thrive. And one of the things that will make them not able to thrive is when they meet obstacles. Because obstacles are there. They are going to meet obstacles. How would they navigate that obstacles? Yes, very many times they can navigate obstacles, but would they navigate it like in hardship, being broken, with stress, with unhappiness? Or would they see them, okay, this is just a challenge I can surmount. This is an opportunity I can learn from. How would they navigate those obstacles? It is one thing we need to think. I remember when I was doing my youth service in Kaduna State, Zaria, Zaria. I was in the military, something Nigeria depot, army depot, Chindit cantonment. There's a name they call it now. It's the headquarters of the military in Nigeria. All through my 11 months there, I was miserable. Like, I was miserable. I didn't like it. It was probably, if I knew then what I know now, I probably would have been able to seize opportunities. If I had the skills I have now, if I have a child who is serving there now, if I know a teen who is serving there now, I would tell her how to change every single situation there into opportunity. I didn't know that. All my 11 years, my 11 months there, I was miserable. I remember it was the 10th month. Anyone, they would tell me, Copper, you fine like this. Copper, you fine like this. Copper, you fine like this. Because that was the 11th month. I was about to pass. We were about to pass out, to leave. And so I was now happy. Like, I couldn't wait to leave. I was super happy. And I'm not kidding. Like, everywhere, Copper, you fine like this. Copper, you be fine, girl. Copper. Because all through, I was miserable. Problem-solving skills. It was not even a problem. It was supposed to be an opportunity. Guess what? Some of my friends there, I know Kemi, I know Uche. Within that 11 months, they knew how to speak Hausa. Kemi could, and Uche could speak Hausa confidently within those 11 months. But for me, nah. It was some of the most miserable months of my existence serving there. So it's not just about, they can survive. Children who can actually thrive, who will see opportunities in every situation, they will see it. It's not when they are old enough, we start motivating them. When they have not built the capacity, it will be very difficult for them. Imagine, like I was trying to describe, I said, building capacity in our children is like filling a drum. When you build that capacity enough, when it's time for them to withdraw, it is just easy. They dip their hand, they withdraw. But when the drum is empty, when we did not feel the capacity, what are they going to do? When it's time for them to withdraw, they are going to stretch and stretch and stretch and stretch before they are able to withdraw. In fact, they are going to now build the capacity to stretch before they are able to withdraw. But when we are building the capacity, we are filling it up. We are filling. The more we build, the more it is full. So when it is time for them, because building capacity doesn't mean they are not going to face events. It doesn't mean they are not going to face situations. They are going to face situation. Building capacity doesn't mean that they are going to face events. They are going to face situations. But the truth of the matter is, because they have the capacity, when the events happen, when the situation happens, it's easy for them to just withdraw and they run. So building capacity is not even negotiable. I said safe, allow them explore safely, then model calm and creativity. Model calm and creativity. When things happen, when situations happen, what do we do? In our parenting, are we all over the place? You want to model calm and creativity in your parenting, problem solving, solve problems. Like I said, it is not in the major things. It is just everyday things to do. Everyday things. When they misbehave, when I was sharing with the Visionary Parent Academy the other day that my older son, he made spaghetti. And by the time the spaghetti was ready, I was served. It was hard. What did I do? Because the sister was complaining, this spaghetti is hard, it's going to remove my tooth. But when it was ready, because I was busy, by the time I was into it, I realized it was indeed hard, it was not soft enough. I just told him, okay, throw it inside the pot, put water, cover it. That was me problem solving. So at the end of the whole day, I told my daughter, what have I done? Her problem solved. I didn't sit down, and I could have sat down and be complaining. You cannot even cook common spaghetti. What is wrong with you? How many times have I taught you how to cook spaghetti? Or is this the first time you're cooking spaghetti? Don't you know the water to put? What kind of I could have been nagging. That would be me complaining. That would be me blaming. That would be me being the victim. Remember, I said, if you are complaining, if you are blaming, if you are being the victim, you are not modeling problem solving. That is the truth. To model problem solving, you have to ditch the complaint, ditch the blaming, ditch the victim mentality, and think of solution. So that was a small thing, but it was one thing for me, because I always say to parents, whatever capacity you want to build in your child, you have to create a system around it, and you have to build it consistently, repeatedly, and intensely. So you cannot say, oh, you are modeling problem solving. In one area, you model it. In another area, you are complaining. No. You have to go all out and model it intensely. So that was one other way I was modeling it. I was adding to it. So if I have modeled in every way, they realize that every time I have a situation, I don't sit down and start blaming, complaining, or start being the victim. What do I do when I have a situation? I just solve it out, problem solve, think it through. And I tell them, asking for help is the way to problem solve. You would have thought about it yourself and realize, okay, this thing is a bit more than me, so I need someone to help me. I need other heads to come together. So you ask for help. That is problem solving too. Noel, excuse me, please. Please go and remove the stabilizer. On the freezer? Yes, please, and plug it directly. Okay. So that is it. Model calm and creativity. Something is happening. What is the way out? How do we fix it? There is always a solution. There is always a substitute. The only thing is, why we don't see ways out is because we are not calm. We don't think creatively. We just let our emotions. Excuse me. I should plug the freezer directly. Yes. We are not calm. So because we are not calm, we are not able to reason. You know, when you are not calm, you are not able to think straight. So we are not able to reason. So now this brings me to the next one. The fourth one, teach emotional regulations. Now this is super key. This is why in the Visionary Parent Academy, one of the first things you do when you join us is you are going to learn how to master your emotions. You are going to learn how to control your emotions, because in the face of events, if you are not able to master your emotions, you need to be able to master your emotion to be calm. If you're not able to master your emotions, if you're not able to be calm in the face of events, you realize that you are just going to be all over the place. Please unplug it. Okay, leave it now. Leave it. Have you unplugged? Leave it. It has come. Have you unplugged it? Leave it now. So sorry, please. Sorry. Life struggles. So I was saying that you need to be emotionally intelligent to even be able to respond calmly. Now, this is why in the Visionary Parent Academy, one of the things we do is we actually learn how to manage our emotions. That's one of the first things we do. When you register with us, one of the first things we do is you want to have a parenting vision. You want to know exactly what you want out of your parenting. You don't want to know the type of children you want to raise. You want to know where you are going to. You want to raise children who are ambitious, or is it children who are complacent? You want to raise children who are you raising children who are liberal, or children who are, you want to know exactly the type of children you are raising. That is why we have our parenting vision guide that will help you craft your parenting vision. After that, of course, you already know where you are going to. That's the purpose of your vision. You have your big picture, then how you want to get there, and the other things we do every single day of the year, how you want to get there. And one of the ways you want to get there is to be emotionally intelligent. Because when you are not emotionally intelligent, you are going to be random. You will not be reasonable. You are going to be random. And when you are random, it simply means that you have a place you want to go to. So you are random means you are going anywhere. So at the end of the day, you are not going to get to where you are going to. Remember, I said, for you to build capacity, for you to get for you to actually get your desired result, you need to be consistent, intensely consistent. So being intensely consistent requires you to be super emotionally intelligent, because that requires you to always pause and think, okay, something has happened. How do I handle it? I want to use this situation to teach my child. What am I teaching? How do I teach it? When do I teach it? Where do I teach it? That is you now being emotionally intelligent. So if you join us, you will definitely be emotionally intelligent. So now, I was going to also share this. I forgot. So let me share it quickly now. I was talking about, intensely teaching, creativity, problem solving. Now, every single thing, if you want to raise, you are building capacity. Every single thing you are doing has to, every opportunity you have to build that capacity, you must not fail. Now, one of the things we do in the Visionary Parent Academy, we have my family constitution. And I tell you, it helps your children also learn problem solving. How does it do it? Because when your children misbehave, it's an opportunity for you to teach them skills. That misbehavior, it is what is it called? It is a communication that there is something that they need. So when you have the family constitution, we have a lot of misbehaviors there. And one of the things we do as consequence is reflection. The child is going to sit back and ask themselves, why did I do what I did? What options did I have? How could I have explored another option? What option could have served me better? More like, what option aligns with the person I want to be, with my vision for myself. The family constitution, it also helps you, teaches your child how to problem solve. And guess what? When you register with us in the Visionary Parent Academy, one of the first materials you get is my family constitution. You are going to get a lot of amazing resources. You are going to get my family constitution. So if not for any other reason, to get my family constitution, it is super worth it. Please register with us. So the last thing is celebrate wins. You are teaching something. There's something I always say to parents. When children don't meet up to expectations, we nag. For example, your child is supposed to sweep or sweep thoroughly. You've taught them how to sweep. When they don't meet that expectation, you nag, right? So what happens when they actually do it? When they do it, we ignore. It's not a big deal. We look away. But when they don't do it, it's a big deal. Now here is it. If when they don't do it is a big deal, when they do it, it should be a big deal too. So you should celebrate when they also do it. If when they don't do it, right, it calls for their heads. Now when they do it, you should just like, celebrating doesn't mean, oh, you train a feast. It can just be acknowledgement, simple acknowledgement. Oh, you tidied up very well. Or the way you tidied the room is this should be your standard. This is really sparkling. This is a room well tidied. This should be your standard. Acknowledging them. That can just be your way of celebrating their wins. The wins, wins rather. Okay, so let me go to the final phase of this our class is everyday practices that will help you build problem solving in your child. Every day. Remember I said it is not about the one thing you do, but the things you do daily. Your lifestyle, your structure, your system, things that happen in your home daily. They are the things that will come together to nurture problem-solving ability in your child. So let's go. One of them is give them household responsibilities. Give them household responsibilities. It is non-negotiable. In the Visionary Parent Academy, we keep talking about it. Yes, they are sharing with them how my kids made ogbono soup. No, not like making it was a big deal because they cook already. So what happened was we learned to make soup in church on Sunday, and they got home on Monday. They actually replicated what they learned in church, and it was so super good. It was good. So again, the style they used in church, it was good because All my life, I've always used one style. The style where you put this ogbono inside a bowl, then you put oil in it, and then you have your pot on fire. You put the ogbono in the bowl inside the fire and cover it. That is the style I've known all my life. So, but in church, the teenager taught me that you don't need to just put all your things in a pot. Put your meat when it's a bit boiled. Put your oil, put your seasoning, put everything. So when your water is bubbling, you just put the ogbono inside and you stir. Everything dissolves. I used to think that would give it lumps, but Sunday didn't give it lump, and my kids did that, and it came out fantastically well, just like the one the teenagers made in church. So give them responsibilities, household responsibilities. We talk about this in the Visionary Parent Academy. You must, because when they have household responsibilities, their hands are on it. Remember I said problem solving skills is not just by saying it, I'm a problem solver, I'm a world changer. No, they actually solve problem practically. And guess what? It builds their confidence. It prepares them for life. If you're in the Visionary Parent Academy, you will know that I don't stop talking about King David. Not King David. David as a teen. When he saw Goliath, when he went to meet King Saul, and King Saul, I was telling my children that day that, see, yes, David said, the God of Israel will help me, will fight for me. But the truth of the matter is, every Israelite had the same God of Israel. Don't you think so? And guess what? Even King Saul, that was afraid, also had the God of Israel. He had someone that would always come and perform sacrifice and tell them, oh yeah, perform the sacrifice and go. So all of them had the God of Israel. All of them believed in the God of Israel, like David did. Otherwise, why would they be calling Samuel? But David had something extra. Because he had responsibilities. He was walking in the field with his brothers. So when he had responsibilities, from having responsibilities, he knew to problem solve. Now, let me ask you as a parent, if David did not attend to the sheep in the forest or in the bush, do you think he would have learned how to kill bears? He wouldn't have learned how to kill. My daughter said it's bear. Is it bear? Bear, not bears. Duh. So, do you think he would have learned how to kill bears? He wouldn't have learned. Would he have learned how to kill lions? He wouldn't have learned. Now, if he had not learned to kill lions, learned to kill bears, would he have learned? Because I always say to my teenagers, because he learned how to kill bears and lions, he probably learned, okay, if I can target this animal here and the animal falls, it simply means, and I target the other animals. He used bear and lions because those were the major, those were the biggest, wildest animals he had to fight. What about he probably had other small animals in the process too. So from killing them, knowing how to aim, how to target from one animal to another, he learned how to say, okay, after all, they are all animals, they are all living things, structured the same way, just that there are a few differences. So if I could kill bear, if I could kill lion, then I could kill Goliath. I don't need to use my sword. If I go there with my sword, it will just take me down. I only need to aim with my catapult. I only need to aim that same place. I aim animals and all of that. So what am I trying to say? From responsibilities, our children will learn problem solving. David knew how to solve the problem. The entire army, the trained army, couldn't solve the problem of Goliath. He learned to solve the problem of Goliath just by having responsibilities of attending to his father's sheep. If he wasn't attending to his father's sheep, he probably wouldn't have learned to solve the problem of Goliath. So you need to give your children responsibilities. As a parent, you cannot keep shielding your children. You cannot keep thinking, and when I was growing up, I did a lot of washing. How it helped me? How the boss I entered, how it helped me? I wonder if at 8, at 9, at 10, at 11, at 12, we did a lot of things. We are allowed to do a lot of things on our own. How come now our children cannot do those same things? Children cannot cook. Children cannot do house chores. They cannot do their laundry. They cannot run simple errands. Parents feel, oh, they are too young. I don't get it. You know, the truth of the matter is, parents have always felt children are too young. Our parents, they were not intentional. What happened to them was situation, life was what collaborated with them to raise us. Let me give you a practical example. Great. I think I shared this last week or the other week. So if you need to go and watch those videos. And if you have not dropped a comment, what are you waiting for? Drop a comment. I have not seen any comments. If you are just joining, please like, drop a comment, tell where you are watching from. Just say something that resonates with you. Okay, I was going to share this. I shared it previously. So growing up, we didn't have water running in my house. Okay, even though our house was water connected, I don't think I ever met water running in my house. You know, maybe when we moved in, when we just started recently, and when we just moved in, because my early years was not with my parents, it was my grandma. So when I joined my parents when I was in JSS1, we didn't have water running in my house. So we'll have to go to some houses away. I'm just trying to remember now how many houses we have to walk a short distance to get water every day, you know. So we had to sweep, we had to wash our clothes. Oh, sorry. Network was, I didn't even know network has come, network has been restored. So I was dancing. I was caught dancing. So we have to do a lot of things by ourselves. So when I moved in here, I was living in Lagos, and I moved in here, my mom came here, like, oh, this house is big. You need people that will come, clean every weekend, clean this and clean all of that. I was like, now, look at it. Why did we, growing up, why didn't we have cleaners cleaning our house? Why now do I have to have cleaners cleaning my house? When we're growing up, you had children, you had us doing the chores. Now that I am a parent also, I have children, I have a 13-year-old, I have an 11-year-old, I have an 8-year-old who can do chores, and you want me to get cleaner to come and clean the house. I don't get it. And of course, the excuse was, it was because there was no, we're civil servants, we're like struggling, making sure our priority was to make ends meet, feed you, clothe you, shelter you, and all of that. That was our priority then. And so that is it. So what am I trying to say? Our parents, they were not intentional, really. But guess what? Environment was what collaborated with them to raise us, not necessarily them raising us alone. So when we want to say, oh, we turned out well, we want to look at the fact that, see, the environment played a key role. And that environment is no longer there. It's no longer available now. So that environment has been replaced with the environment that instead of collaborating with us to raise our children, is actually working against us, collaborating with our enemies, if there's something like that, to raise our children. So it's no longer the environment. Environment helped our parents. It's no longer available to help us. Let's go. Ask them to plan. Number one, I said, give them household responsibilities. Number two, I said, ask them to help with plan or decide small things. There are things around the house where kids can help with. Ask them. Yesterday, I dropped a voice note talking about problem solving. I said, one of the things I used to do, I will start doing it again. Like last year, I used to do this with my children. Was it last year or early this year? I think I stopped. What I used to do was, we have a family budget. Every month, I tell them that this is the budget we have for the month. This is the budget we have for the month. And so we draw up all the things we need, from our groceries to every single thing. We put them all together. And then I'll tell them that, okay, this is it. So every single thing. So if we have like from number 1 to number 100 things we have on the list that we are going to do for the month, right? So if we have any other thing, we are going to make it number 101. Of course, that number 1 and number 100 would have covered every of our priorities. Talk about groceries, everything would have covered everything. So if we have anything, we can now bring it under it, carry over to the next month. We plan together. We look at priorities together. It's super important. So you give them some things, small things, let them sort it out. Sometimes we give them situations, let them problem solve. I remember one time in Lagos, I was talking about this problem solving with my children. And I talked about, we were going to, I don't remember what we were going to do. We had a few things we needed to do. So not that I didn't have extra money, I had extra money, but I needed them to be able to think on their own. So I wanted to fill the gas and wanted to do something else. So they were clamoring for the particular thing, clamoring for the particular thing. Okay, generator, yes. Put petrol in the generator to watch a movie or something like that, or just to have lights, and we needed to fill the gas. So I told them that, okay, this was the money that was available. This money will fuel the generator, but it will be for about 2 days or even a couple of hours. But however, if we buy gas, we are going to use this gas for an entire month. So what would you think? So now I also, because impulsively they'll say, generator, want to watch movie. I have to sit down and explain to them. If you fill up the gas, that means you're going to eat for one whole month. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. But generator, you're not going to have food to eat for one whole month. So think about it. Problem solving, prioritizing, and all of that. So you can also help give your children small tasks. Let them plan, let them brainstorm, just small tasks like that. Age appropriate is not major responsibilities or major financial responsibilities, but something just small. It can be you are shopping together, A or B. You explain. Remember I said it has to add value. It has to make sense. Now, here is something that happens when it comes to parenting, because you may be wondering, I'm saying this to my child. They are not getting it. They don't understand. I get you. One of the reasons they will not get it, they will not understand, is if you have not laid the foundation. For example, I have taught my children values. I have created vision. We know where we are going to. They have certain values. So when I go out, when we are making decisions, and it's easy for us to tie it to values, it's easy for them to actually understand what we mean. It's easy for them not to feel offended, for them to understand what we mean. It's easy for them to cooperate and not argue. You know why? Because we have the foundation. We have the value system. We have the value system. We have the vision we are working with. So if I say, for example, if a particular friend is not allowed into our house based on the particular friend's behaviors, it's easy for them to agree with me and understand with me. Why? Because of our value system. Not just because I just say, no, this person cannot be your friend. They actually understand where I'm coming from. I don't know if you get me. So it is why it's important for you to begin to lay the foundation. When you have the foundation, it is easy for you to now build upon it. It is easy for them to be on the same space. You have the system. They understand. You carry them along. Now, it is why you need a place like the Visionary Parent Academy, because you are going to build the foundation, lay it, and you begin to build upon. I tell you, your children will cooperate with you more easily because you have laid the foundation. It is not you just come from somewhere and you just start imposing. No. You are going to start laying the foundation. You can't build the house from the middle now. You can't build the house from the middle. It is not going to stay. But when you have laid the foundation, you are building, it makes a lot of sense. Okay, so I said, ask them to help decide. Give them small plans around the house, things to plan. From there they will learn. If they have mistakes, they go back and try it. Expose them to involve them in brainstorming family challenges. Yes. Brainstorming. I've talked about this. I've shared this. Brainstorming family challenges. Anything challenging the family. Talk to them about it in an age-appropriate way. It's not just about family. There is something I was sharing in the Visionary Parent Academy. One of the things I do with my children, because I always tell them these things that, see, God created you to solve a problem. The problem. And I use Jesus Christ as an example. Even my teenagers in church, I tell them that when they say something like, I didn't ask my parents to give birth to me, I say, no, your parents didn't ask. Okay, network. Sorry about that. So I was saying that, expose them to stories of inventors. Yes, we know that. We know Thomas Edison, problem solvers. We know people who solve problems, who have solved problems for a living. Expose them to stories of people who are solving problems. Talk to them about this one is solving problem. This one, I always tell my children, we talk about them, we talk about the problems people are solving. Sometimes I even see people on social media, maybe people who have special issues and all of that. I just tell them that I say these people, they have special issues. God has created you to be a problem solver. So what problem? How can you help them solve a problem? We talk about them. I remember one time I saw glasses. Someone made glasses for children. children who didn't have sight, who couldn't see. And so when they saw the glasses, when they wore the glasses, they could see, they were super happy. And I was telling them, now this is problem solving. So expose them to people who are solving problems. Talk to them about how people are solving problems. The person providing transportation is solving a problem. The person that created light bulb is solved the problem. The person that invented telephone is solved the problem. The person that created cars solve the problem. The person that created as much as floor tiles solve the problem. There are different problems to solve. Problem of hunger, problem of aesthetics, problem, a lot of problems. People are solving problems. Whenever you see something, even someone that created this my glass case, solving a problem. Someone that created this thing is solving a problem. Someone that created this thing is solving a problem. Someone that created Vaseline is solving a problem. There are different problems. Every single thing someone has made, the person is solving a problem. And people don't solve problems by complete. And this is why we have the Method Thing magazine. The Method Thing magazine is a magazine that mentors your child, that helps them build capacity, that teaches them all these things. And one of the things you do as a parent, like what I do is, I read it to my children, except maybe the month I'm super busy, like this month now, I didn't read it with them. But usually I read it, we sit down, we read it together, and we share stories, we share ideas, we learn, we laugh, because it's a learning and bonding magazine. We learn, we laugh. So if you're a parent, you need it's 1,000 naira for the Method Thing magazine, 1,000 naira monthly. And in magazine, we have stories, we have a lot of activities that can actually empower your child. We cannot just sit back and not do something. We cannot sit back and not be intentional about raising our children. We must intentionally raise children this time. Okay, I think I was talking about David's story before my network interrupted. I just said that, okay, because David had a responsibility, he learned to take responsibility. He learned to solve problems. So when the animals came, he learned to actually defeat them so they will not come in his way. So if your child has responsibilities, your child will learn to solve problems. So like I've said to you before, and I'm saying it again, whatever you want to nurture in your child, it is only the one thing you do. Build it into your family system. Build it into your family system. It is what will help you achieve in the Visionary Parent Academy. We help you build a family system, create a family system that will help you build capacity in your child. A family system that will help you build capacity in your child is what we do. And next year's curriculum, if you see it, you self go know say you dey for academy. So join us. If you want to be in the Visionary Parent Academy, send a message on how you can join, and we are going to be super glad to fill you with information. See, our academy is very, very affordable. It is super affordable. For all we offer, for everything you get, it is super affordable. Thank you so much. See you next week. Bye-bye.